also don't mean you're not gonna have twins either.
Right.
So. Hey y'all.
Hey.
I'm Savelli.
I'm Ami.
And we're Melanin and Milk. Today, we are going to be talking about the family building options as a queer couple. So the way that you can build your family. But before we do that, make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know as soon as we post. And also share this with your family, friends, loved ones, dogs, cats, all that, okay? So, like I said, today we're going to be talking about the ways that you can build your family as a queer couple. So, the first thing I will go over are the types of ways. So, you can do at-home insemination, which is ICI. You can do IUI, which is at the doctor's, and you can do IVF. I will put on the screen what they all mean and break them down, y'all, because I'm not going to say them wrong. I know IVF is we're going to just put that on the screen. Y'all see what they say. So I will start with what we started with, which was at home insemination / ICI. So at home insemination is basically when you put sperm directly into the vagina cavity. So basically what we use, which is now such a great product, and I think it's FDA approved now, which is amazing, but it's the Mosey baby. Put a little picture up here of the Mosey baby. Y'all, we love this. Even though it was not successful for us, we know that it's been successful with so many different other couples, and it's such an amazing device, especially if you're doing it at home and, with your partner and wanting to make it more intimate. This device, and not so like clinical, this device will definitely help you with that. The Mosey baby, I don't remember when it came around, but we first kind of heard about it in 2020 when we started our family building journey. So we used the Mosey baby a lot of times, y'all. Again, it didn't work for us, but that doesn't mean that it won't work for you. So basically what it is you put the sperm inside, and if you aren't using the Mosey baby, any like a syringe, or some people use Diva cups or soft cups. Yep. So basically you'll put the sperm inside whatever device you just choose to, and then if you're using the Mosey baby or a syringe, you would, at the time when you're ready, you would take it, put it into your vaginal cavity, try to get it to your cervix as close as you can if you're doing it by yourself or with your partner. But you put it into the vaginal cavity, and you shoot the sperm out of there, and then it goes through the cervix to the uterine cavity. Now, some people do use, like I said, the soft cups. And with that, I've seen people do is they put the sperm inside of the soft cup, insert the soft cup into the vaginal canal, put the soft cup where the sperm is, like right against the wall of where your cervix is, and then it has the sperm go into the cervix, and then do all of the natural things. Again, I am not a professional. We are not professionals. We do not know. I'm just telling you what I know and the things that you can find on the internet. Okay. Yep. Just putting in a nice little video for y'all. Okay. Other than that, please go check my information again, because I'm not a professional. Me and Ami have personally went through this. We did at home 6 times. We have tried with the Mosey baby and soft cups. Now at home, you would normally do ovulation test, which you can get off of Amazon. What we got is the Mira. The Mira is the closest thing that you can get at home to the labs. So a Mira we love the Mira. Now, it is expensive. It can be expensive for some. Keeping up with all of the wands can be expensive for some. So I don't want to make it seem like it's super accessible for some, because it might not be. It is a little bit on the more expensive side, but it is a great product. Yep. We love the Mira. Because we did not start with the Mira on our first try. Yep. I think it was our second one that we really started with it. And Then it was a brand new thing again, and it was only one wand. Now they have all these different wands that can take all your different levels. It's a great product. We've been waiting for the pregnancy test, Mira. Where's the pregnancy test at, Mira? We've been waiting. We've been waiting. Yep. If you want to send us one to try, we definitely will. Again, this video is not sponsored, y'all, by nobody. So we are just telling y'all products that we've used, that we love. Yep. But it's not sponsored. But if you want to sponsor us, you know where to find us. Okay. All right. So that's kind of at home. So you will be monitoring your ovulation by peeing on a stick. You can do the basal temperature way as well, which you're taking your temperature every day, because they say that your temperature is higher when you're like closer to ovulation. There's so many different methods that you can use to do at-home insemination. There's so many videos on at-home insemination. Yes. We've seen so many queer couples get their babies from doing it at home. So please, please, please definitely go watch those videos and do your research. But we did 6 at home and they never worked for us. Not saying that it doesn't work. It just didn't work for us. Yep. We wanted to try it at home because we didn't want to go through everything into the clinic, but it's fine. We've done our journey. We've done what we had to do. So yes, y'all, that's at home. You are putting the sperm directly through the vaginal canal, and hoping the sperm gets through it would be as if I would say it's the closest to mimicking natural conception. Yep. As much as it could be, because when a penis goes in the vagina and if we're talking about that way, that penis cannot go through to the cervix. It cannot go through the cervix. At most, it's hitting the cervix. And when the sperm ejaculates, it's right there on the cervix, possibly. But it can't go through. It only can go through the vaginal canal. So /at-home insemination is the closest you can get to natural conception. Yeah. Now, moving on to IUI. Now, IUI is when you are now working with a clinic and you are now most likely taking medicine to help your fertility. So I'm not sure what these medicines do. I'm going to be 100% honest because, again, I'm not a medical professional. But they're supposed to help get you pregnant. When I did my first IUI, we were on and I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but we were on Lerdestrol. I'm saying that wrong. I'll put it on the screen, y'all. And I would have to take those pills, and then we went up a couple of times during them. So I would take those pills during it. Again, I'm not sure why those pills are taken. If you don't take that, you're going to take Clomid. It's one of those two usually. And then you will take a trigger shot. So that's the first trigger shot I've ever taken. So go back in the video. We have that on video. That was the first shot I've ever taken. If y'all watch my IVF to go back to see those videos, y'all can see I definitely got better at taking shots. But you take a trigger shot with that. And then after the trigger shot, 36 hours later, they will do the IUI. Now, the difference between an IUI and an ICI or at-home insemination is that they go through the cervix. They go through the cervix. Now, some people have said that it's very painful for them. Some people, it's not painful. For me, I honestly didn't feel a thing. Thank God, because I really thought that I was going to be one of those painful people. So basically, they take the sperm. So you'll send the sperm to your clinic. They'll unthaw the sperm, and then they will put it in a catheter or whatever product they use. I'm assuming it's a catheter or a syringe or whatever they use to get the sperm out. So they'll put that inside, and they will put you up. You'll be laid up like you're getting a pap smear. So anybody with a vagina knows kind of the steps to a pap smear. They'll put a speculum in there so they can see the cervix better. And they take this itty bitty, it's very, very thin, a very thin catheter, and they put it into your cervix so they can put the sperm in the uterine cavity. Now, they will feed it through your cervix and then let the sperm go into your cervix or into your uterine cavity, and then the sperm will meet up with the egg that should be there because you've taken the ovulation. So you've taken the trigger shot. The trigger shot will make you ovulate, and the egg should be ready. Once they do the IUI and the sperm is in the uterine canal or the uterine cavity, it should meet up with your eggs, and then implantation takes, and then you're pregnant. That is kind of what the cycle of IUI is.
Yeah. No, the only thing too is that they do monitor you. So you do still do an ultrasound. It's just not every day like with IVF.
No, so I think it's
like every other day or every couple of days.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say every other day or every 2 days you go in and you're monitored, and it's an intravaginal ultrasound. And I believe they take your blood, but I'm not. It's been so long, y'all.
It is.
I'm trying to remember if they take your blood or not. They might take your blood, but they might not. I can't remember because it's like, again, it's been so long. Yes, thank you for adding that. But yes, you're monitored, and then they'll tell you when to take your trigger shot. Now, some clinics will give you the trigger shot in the clinic. I have gotten my trigger shot taken. Like, I have taken my trigger shot, have Ami give me, or me taking mine, and then I've gotten it from the nurse in the clinic. Depending on what you're monitoring that day is, they'll either tell you to take your shot in a day or two, or they'll do it that day. So I've done both. I've had it where we've waited to take a trigger shot, and I've had it where they've done it that day. And then after your trigger shot, like I said, 36 hours, they do the IUI. So they take the catheter, they put it inside of you through your cervix, and then they let the sperm out. The sperm meet up with the egg, and the implant. That's what they want to happen. Right. And then I think 2 weeks. So this is actually 2 weeks. So 2 weeks you wait to see if you're pregnant. Yep. So you can take a home test, and then you go in and take a beta. The way that my clinic did it is I did a pregnancy test, and then if it was negative, there was no point of me taking a beta. They were just like, okay, you're negative, so let's plan to do it on your next period. So then, depending on you and your circumstances, or you and your partner's circumstances, you would either do it right after, so that next cycle, or you would wait, or whatever the case may be. Now, before you do an IUI, you have to get a procedure called the HSG. Now, that was not fun, let me tell you. I mean, at least for me, it was fine. But from what I hear from other people, it's not fun. It is, so an HSG test is when they take fluid or dye, they take dye, and they put it into your fallopian tubes. How do they do that? I don't know. They put it into your fallopian tubes and make sure that and they take a picture to see if the dye came out of your fallopian tubes, if it stayed in there, if one's blocked, if they have a blockage, whatever the case may be. They'll do that. Now, you can be awake during this procedure. Yep. You can be awake during this procedure.
If you want to be.
I was not awake during this procedure, y'all. I don't play when it comes to stuff. Put me to sleep, okay? I'll wake up and deal with the aftermath, but put me to sleep. I do not, because y'all already have really bad anxiety when it comes to doing procedures like this, and my anxiety with the pain would make it where I can't. It's going to be a disaster, really. So I opt to be put to sleep for a lot of this stuff. Now, for that procedure, I did not pay. Oh, I did pay out of pocket. It was $800 out of pocket for just the anesthesia. I had to pay $800 to be put to sleep. But they'll do the HSG. Mine came back fine. There was no blockages or anything. They want to make sure that you don't have any fallopian tube blockages or anything like that prior to them doing the IUI, because they need their fallopian tubes to work to get the eggs to go through them. The egg can meet up with the sperm and they can implant. You will have to do that prior to the IUI or an IVF if you're just starting fertility. You just be aware that you're gonna have to do that because they need to know if your fallopian tubes are open. And I think that's it. Now, when it comes to IUI, there's not much like I said, there's one injection, which is the trigger shot, and there's pills. You take pills. Yeah. Now, there might, from when I did an IUI to now has been some years. So there might be new thing that they do. I haven't heard anybody doing any other injections when it comes to IUI, but this is just what I went through when I was going through IUIs. Mm-hmm. I've done 4 IUIs and none of them worked. I honestly believe they didn't work because I ovulate earlier than normal people do. And unfortunately, in my clinic at the time, did not take that into consideration because they said that the medicine that I'm taking with the trigger controls that, so it doesn't matter. But I personally think that matters, and that's why I did not have a successful IUI. The difference between that is the IUI has to be done at a clinic because it's surgical. Not surgical, but they have to put us, like I said, the syringe into your cervix, through your cervix, into your uterine cavity, and then that's where the sperm is. And then at home, you just do it through the vaginal wall.
Yes.
All right, so we did ICI/at home, we've done IUI, and now we're on to IVF. Now this is the one that's more complicated when it comes to everything. So IVF, in vitro fertilization, is when they take your eggs, they take the sperm, so either your partner's sperm or a donor's sperm, known donor, unknown anonymous donor from a sperm bank, sperm, okay? And we'll go into the different type of sperms, bank and donors and things in another video. They'll take the sperm and they put it in a lab. They put the sperm and the eggs together. All of the eggs that they retrieved, they'll put all of that sperm and the eggs together in a lab, literally put them together, and then watch them fertilize and mature, and then turn into embryos, which are blastocysts, and they turn into embryos. Okay.
And they also will too. Sometimes they will force the sperm into the eggs as well. Well, they'll assist fertilization, and then there's where, like Shirley mentioned, well, they'll just put everything together, and then they'll do their thing, and watch how many blastocysts or what
turn into. Yeah.
Is that what it's the?
That's when they turn into babies, yeah.
Yeah, so then they'll turn into blastocysts.
Yes, okay, so there's two different types of IVF. One, well, let me clarify that. There's two different types of ways that they fertilize the eggs, okay? Yes. So one is where they put the egg into a petri dish, and they put the sperm in the petri dish, and they just let it do their thing. They let it naturally coagulate or whatever, or they naturally come together and fertilize. The way that we went through was called ICSI. Now, ICSI is when they take the sperm, like per sperm, they take one sperm and insert it into the egg. So basically, they take the sperm and they take the egg and they literally push the sperm in there. That's what ICSI is called. So that's ICSI. So those are two different things. So there's natural fertilization with the egg and the sperm, and they just doing their thing. And then it's ICSI, where they actually insert the sperm into the egg. That's what we got done. So we had 23 eggs pulled out, okay? Each 23 eggs that they received, they ICSI'd them. Out of the 23 eggs that were fertilized, or that they got, 12 fertilized, 9 matured, and then 8 were embryos, which are called blastocysts. 8 were embryos. We sent those 8 off to testing. When we received the test results back, 7 of those embryos came back transferable, and 1 was not transferable. They had like extra chromosomes. And then 7 of those were transferable. They had regular chromosomes. Everything looked great. 6 are girls and 1 is a boy. Now, after you have the embryos, so there's 2 parts to IVF. Now, a lot of people tell you this. The first part is the egg retrieval. When they take the eggs out, they figure out how many, they fertilize them, figure out how many turn into embryos. The second part of IVF is when we do the embryo transfer. And that's where we are now. Now, after they have however many blastocysts you have, or now embryos, or you'll hear the term M babies, because they're technically babies. Once you know how many you have, either, depending on your clinic, depending on how many you received, you might have to do another egg retrieval. And this, again, this all depends on your clinic, how many kids you plan on having with you and your family or your partner, or if it's just you, a single person, how many kids that you want to have. They take that in consideration too. And also your health and if you're able to. So when I say your health and if you're able to, this is when you do the hysteroscopy, which is what I'm getting ready to do. That is when they go in and they look at your uterus and make sure everything looks okay. There's nothing in the way. There's not a polyp or a fibroid that's in the way where your embryo could implant into that, and then you could have issues or miscarriage or have any medical, that would be an unsuccessful pregnancy basically.
Right.
There's 3 things that determine if you are going to do an egg retrieval next or you're going to go to the embryo transfer. For us, we received enough embryos for our family that how we want to build, because Ami's going to be doing IVF as well. My 7 is technically more than what we want to have. We want to have 6 kids.
Yep.
I know y'all, what kids are saying, y'all want to have 6 kids. That's crazy. I know I'm the middle of 6. Ami's the baby of 6. It's just how we grew up. Okay. We want to have 6 kids. So if it was just me, they might have wanted to have me do more just so we have they like just in cases and just, have extras. But because we're using Ami's eggs as well to create our family, our 6, we had enough embryos from myself for us to move forward to the embryo transfer part. I am going to be doing a hysteroscopy because our doctor wants to make sure everything is great. She's just overly perfection, which I appreciate because I am too. Now, once you are cleared to do the embryo transfer, what they'll do is, now remember when we talked about the IUI and how it was set up? It's basically an IUI, but in a different way. So you go into the room, your legs up, spread eagle, okay? They will put a spectrum, or is that what it's called? Speculum inside of you to open up your vaginal wall so they can see. And then they are going to take a catheter that has your embryo inside of it. So your embryo now, instead of the sperm we talked about with IUI, this is now your embryo, so your actual baby. And they will take that embryo and they're going to put it through your cervix into your vaginal cavity, or into your uterine cavity. Then it can implant. Now, with IVF, you are either doing a fresh cycle, which is a fresh embryo transfer, which is meaning normally more straight couples do this. Basically, you get your number of embryos, and that's like 5 days. So it takes like 5 days for you to know how many embryos you have before they're sent off to PGT testing. This is usually when people are not going to PGT test and they're going to do a fresh transfer. So what happens is they take the embryo that's 5 days old now, and then they implant it, or they do the embryo transfer with that embryo. The 5-day embryo, you'll probably have like 6 or 7 days later, they will do the embryo transfer, and that is called a fresh embryo transfer, because that means that you're doing it right when they turn 5 days, basically. A frozen embryo transfer is what we are doing. And people who get PGT testing, it doesn't matter which version, PGT-A, S, R, M, whatever, are going to be doing frozen embryo transfers, because your embryo has to be frozen to do these tests. It stays frozen actually the whole time, because for testing, they only take off a little bit. They don't test the whole embryo. They only test a chunk of the cells of the embryo, which we'll go kind of more into that in another PGT, explaining what PGT are, PGT results. But basically, you'll have a frozen embryo transfer. So once you're ready for your transfer and you've either picked your embryo, because some people pick their embryo, or you don't, like we were gonna do, we're not picking our embryo. Then you will schedule your transfer. They'll thaw the embryo. It's not going into you frozen. They thaw the embryo out, and then in the speculum, or in the catheter they put through your cervix, they will inject the embryo. So the embryo will go into your uterine catheter and it'll fall wherever it's supposed to be. And then it will implant. Now, while they're doing the transfer, you will be able to see everything on a ultrasound monitor. So they're going to be doing ultrasound as well as the embryo transfer. In IUI, they don't do that. There's no ultrasound. They just put that bad boy in, the sperm in you, and they send you on your way, okay? This time, there will be a monitor for because they need to watch what they're doing as well. So there'll be a monitor, which you and your partner can see, or yourself, you can see the monitor, and they'll let you watch it, and they'll show you. Because when the embryo goes in, it's like a light. You'll see like a light, so you can watch it on the ultrasound, and then you'll see the little light, and it's like a little white thing. You can see that where they've implanted in your uterine cavity. They'll show you where they implanted it. Now, you will technically be 2 weeks pregnant when they do the embryo transfer, for frozen embryo transfer, because I don't think I know the math, but I know the embryo is 5 days old, and then you have to wait until you would be in that. Listen, look it up, okay? Y'all got Google. But you will technically be 2 weeks pregnant when you have the embryo transfer. That's why if you ever watch anybody that has had an embryo transfer, they say they're, I think it's like PUPO or PUPO, pregnant until proven otherwise. And then now you wait for 9 days instead of the 2 weeks. You wait 9 days to get your blood test for beta. A lot of people will test like 5 days after transfer, 6 days after transfer, 7 days after transfer, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, all this stuff, right? Some people do that. You will see that. I don't know what we want to do yet. Y'all, I've taken so many pregnancy tests. We've waited so long. I don't know if I'm going to be like, fuck it and wait for the beta, or if I'm going to start at like day 6 or something. I don't know yet, friends. I don't know yet. We've been through this process so many times. It's just like, what to do. It always depends. We always like, we're not going to test at all. And then we end up testing every day.
Yeah, and then we get to the point where we're like, it's been a couple days. You want to do it?
Right.
You want to do it?
Yeah, because
no, let's wait a couple more days.
Right.
And then that pregnancy test will be staring at us, and then we'll be like, all right, let's go do it.
Right.
So we'll see what happens this time.
And y'all, I'm a Leo again. Do with that what y'all will. But I buy a lot of pregnancy tests. There's a video that we're gonna post, or it's already posted by now, so y'all go watch it. Of when I first started to do, we first did our first, I think it was our first test. Yeah. And I went and I got all these tests, y'all.
Yeah, so this was in the midst of COVID.
This is in the midst of COVID.
You will see the effects of buying pregnancy tests during that time.
Oh my gosh, it was
y'all
crazy.
Go check that video out.
It's such a funny video. It's a short video, but it's funny, y'all. But yeah, I overly buy tests. I got the Amazon cheapies, the Walmart cheapies, the Clear Blue, the First Responses. I think I had another brand. I can't think of that one. But yeah, y'all, I've basically taken them all. I've never seen a pregnancy test, like an actual positive pregnancy test, only the one that I took when I had a trigger because I wanted to see what it looked like. You take your test. So then they will come in and you'll come in for a blood test. IVF usually does a blood test regardless. Even if you get a physical negative, like if you've been testing and you get a negative, they're still going to have you come in and do a blood test. You're going to go in on the 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th day, depending on your clinic, and take your beta. Now, they will, I believe, and this is just what I know from watching other people's YouTube, you'll get the beta, I believe, either the same day or the next day, and then you take another beta, I think the day after. So Monday, you take a beta, and then you'll take another beta on Wednesday. And then the betas are just to see where your blood is. So I believe they want your beta, the first beta to be 50. And then they want it to double after that. And usually people would freak out because if you have more than 50 and your second beta has tripled or quadrupled, people always assume it's twins. It's not always twins if you get high numbers. We have seen that. Our friend, she had high numbers like that, and we really thought she was gonna have twins. We really thought she was having twins, y'all, until they confirmed that it was just one baby up in there. Yeah. But her numbers were like in twin numbers. So just because you get high numbers does not mean you're gonna get twins. Now, just because you get high numbers also don't mean you're not gonna have twins either.
Right.
So.
Until the ultrasound,
you don't know.
It's a toss up.
So yeah, y'all. That is ICI at home, IUI, and IVF. I hope I helped. I hope we helped with any questions y'all might have.
Again, we are not medical professionals.
We are not medical professionals. We are not medical professionals. We are not medical professionals. We just are telling y'all what we've been through and the knowledge that we've known from the research that we've done. We hope we've helped. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. Yes, we have went through every single one. Any other families who went through at home and at home and IUI and IVF, please let us know in the comments because we feel like we've been the only ones.
Yes, and let us know if you have any questions too that you would like us to answer about any of the process and how we felt, anything, just anything about any type of journey, the IUI, IVF, and ICI.
Yep.
And we'll be sure to answer them. So
yes, let us know. Let us know y'all's journey. Let us have, if any questions you might have, please let us know. We have found some of the footage that we had when we first started. It's kind of crazy. It's not the best quality, y'all. It's not the best quality, okay? We ain't had no iPhone, man. We ain't had no iPhone. We had no camera. It was just the old Android, all right? Yeah. So the quality's not great, but we will post those clips. Again, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for everybody who watches, subscribes, likes, comments, everything. We really appreciate all the love and support.
Yes.
We do this for y'all, so we appreciate getting the love back. Again, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so y'all know when we're gonna post, and share,
y'all.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next video.
Bye.